Welcome back. We are going to go over assignment 3 today out of this book, Construction Project Scheduling and Control. I will include a link to this appendix in the notes below for you to follow along. But if you're just joining us, in the last two videos that we did, we built this schedule from scratch. We're just working through the appendix here. Assignment 1 was building the schedule from scratch from the table that they provided, and then assignment 2, we cost and resource loaded it. So now we're moving on to assignment 3, which is we're going to update the project. Before we jump into that, if you don't know, I do one-on-one tutoring. So if you are hitting a wall and you're trying to find an answer to something, say like how to change financial period data, or how to cost load a schedule, or how to update a cost loaded schedule, and you want to work through your specific problem, I love doing one-on-one tutoring. So I'll include a link below. Send me a message though, and let me know the problem, the wall that you're facing, and if I can help you solve it. Sometimes it's worth it to pay just a little bit of money, gets you over the hump and on your way, rather than you trying to figure out how the heck to do something. So would love to hear from you. Reach out and let me know what you're going through, and would love to hop on a live session with you. So let's go back. Let's do this assignment here, updating the project. So basically what we're going to do is we got to move the data date to August 31st. That is our update period is going to be from August 2nd, which is where the schedule's at now, to August 31st. We have some activities here that have made progress, so we just have to assign that progress, and then there's a couple of reports that we're going to run. So jumping over to our schedule file, we're going to take the last file that we did from our previous assignment. We're just going to copy that, and then we're going to paste that into the same location, retaining all of our information there. And then I'm going to change this to TOB UP1, which I like to just organize my files that way. So we go from the baseline, BL, and now this is going to be update number 1. And then they want us to change this description to Tampa office building number 3. And in our description, I'm going to include update number 1. And I'm going to say data date 31 August 2010. And that'll just help as we go along and we're doing our future updates. That's how I like to organize my files. You can see down here, here's like my typical organizational structure. I'll have the live file, the baseline to keep track of that, and then the updates and any time impacts that I'm going to be doing. So we made a copy of that file. Let's go ahead and open that. And here we go. So we got our notice to proceed, and we're going to be updating it through August 31st. So what I like to do is I like to turn this highlighter on, and then I just drag the data date to wherever I'm going to be updating through. So this is August 31st, and then that just highlights the activities you can see that are scheduled to occur in that period of time. So if I go to our assignment here, we have the notice to proceed and the mobilization finished on time. So let's go ahead and take care of those. Notice to proceed, finished. And if you're not seeing this activities details tab down here, go to view, show on bottom, and then the details. And this should come up. Go to the status tab, and then we're just checking the boxes if to apply the actual dates. You'll notice here, like my actual start and finish column are blank to begin with. And as I click those boxes, it's just going to apply the actual dates into those fields. So notice to proceed, it actually started then, and then the mobilization, it says in the assignment it started or it finished on time. So I'll just apply the finish, and then you can see here it automatically applies a start and a finish when I check that box. Clear and grub, let's see what happened there. It started on time, but it finished August 27th. So started on time, and then it finished. Instead of the 23rd, we're going to select the 27th. And then 10:30, excavation started the 16th, and then finished August 27th. So started late the 16th, and then it finished on the 27th. And then let's see what happened to the foundations. That started August 19th. But then as of the data date, the percent complete for this activity is 44%, and the remaining duration is 10 days. So they're throwing a curveball at us, guys. So August 19th it started, and then we're going to apply 44% complete, and I want this to be 10 days. Well, you'll notice that the remaining duration is linked to the percent complete. So if I put 10 days here, this percent complete is derived by the remaining duration divided by the original duration, and that gives us our percent complete. So these two are linked together. So I can't do 44% and also 10% because those two contradict each other. So the way that I change that is I go to the general tab, and the percent complete, I change that to physical percent complete. And now the remaining duration is unlinked from the percent complete. So this can now be 44%, and the remaining duration is now independent and from the percent complete, and I can put that as 10. Okay, and I added a column here for percent complete type, and you can see everything set to duration except for this one's physical. If you wanted to change them all, which physical, like most projects are done in physical percent complete, you would just type in physical up there, you would select that, scroll down to the bottom, hold shift on your keyboard, highlight everything, and you can fill down, and that'll change everything now to physical percent complete. Let's go ahead. I think there was one more thing here. Item 1110 is was modified by the engineer and will require 10 days. So 1110, it was an 8-day activity, but now they want us to make it a 10-day activity. And let's go ahead and reschedule this to the new data date of August 31st. And there we go. Everything kind of pushed out based on that. You can see now we have some negative float in the schedule because we're later than our baseline. And that negative float is being generated from, if I go to the end of the schedule, this final check and closeout activity has a constraint where it must finish on or before March 21st. So because this is March 30th and this is a 5-day work week calendar, this is 6 days behind that constrained date. So just keep in mind that's why the negative float is being generated, is because of that constraint there. If I were to remove it, everything would be everything that was on the longest path would be on have 0 days of float. So going to the reports that we're asked to generate, number one is just a tabular report sorted by the early start date. So all I do is I click the column header for start, and that sorts it automatically by that column. And then I go to my print preview, page setup, options, and I uncheck my Gantt chart. And that is my tabular report. So now I don't have a Gantt chart, and that's my tabular report. Easy enough. The other assignment that it wanted us to do was to group it by the responsibility code. So go to group and sort, and because we have our responsibility codes assigned to everything, which we did in I think our first assignment, we're going to look for the responsibility code, and we're going to group it by that, and we're going to apply that. And if you want as well, you could sort it. Right now it's already sorted by the start date, so we'll keep it that way. But if you wanted to, this is where you would sort everything. So you could also do it by a total float, which is I think how they specifically asked for it. So now it's sorted by both start date and total float. But now it's grouped by our responsibility codes, and if I expand that, So if I was going to go to my print preview, you can see I have my Gantt chart turned off. So all I got to do is go back to my page setup, my options, and then select my Gantt chart, and now it's turned back on. And that's how I would print that report. And then I think the last thing that it wanted was filter for everything with less than 0 days of float. So I would just create a new filter, and I'll create a new one. Maybe I'll call this negative float, and I'm going to say where the total float is less than 0. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll apply that one, and there's that report. So everything now that's showing up, you can see, has less than 0 days of float, and I can go ahead and print that report off. So that was a pretty straightforward assignment. I'll see you in the next video. All right, see you there.